Hello guys, and without any short and long overtures, we are going to take a look on the Crimson Desert, launched just today, just yesterday, depends on what time zone you are, and I'm going to share my thoughts, my first impression, just a rough one. I played the game just a few hours, but I already have composed some views and some thoughts. I wish I would have more of them later on, and will share with you them as well. So without further ado, let's dive deeper, guys. Yeah, so before we will move on, and I would like to tell you about the background story here. So basically, the Crimson Desert was created by the Peril Abyss or something like that, the studio behind the Black Desert Online, which we are seeing and observing right now. So that's an MMORPG. They bought another developers who created EVE Online, at least the part of them. So that's important to mention. And those guys combined, they decided to develop Crimson Desert. And I think that we will see, and I'm already seeing the impact of those decisions and those experiences inside the Crimson Desert, because it's really feel like some kind of MMORPG with all those yellow exclamation marks when you take in the quests, with the NPC which spreading all around the world, with which you could speak, but basically without any strong story and lore. And yeah, that's really feeling like something out from the multiplayer world. So without any other words, let's delve deeper into the context of the Crimson Desert specifically. Good. So what and how this game is feeling right now? This game feeling pretty nice. I just stole the chair from the guy, and when he was sitting and he was awkwardly going away. But I could say that the game is feeling pretty nice. The mechanics, there are a lot of mechanics. The visuals are great. The deep of all of those features inside the game, you may discover them throughout the hundreds of hours, I believe. At least 100 hours for sure. And I'm still like on the surface, but my first feelings about the game, that it is feel nice, and the first impression more or less modest or even good. The MMO feelings and MMO tastes inside the game, the multiplayer online RPG taste could frustrate you sometimes. That's not because the game is bad, that's because you may or may not like those kind of games. You might prefer the MMORPG, or you may don't like them at all. So I don't know. My preferences, I played a lot of games inside the MMORPG world, also World of Warcraft, EVE Online as well. I never tried Black Desert, but I know those styles and those approaches. I don't know whether I like the Crimson Desert right now. I definitely would like to delve deeper here and try it with the later stages with much more mechanics. So far, I'm trying to reach this guy. I was blind to see that the trigger to trigger this guy, I should push the right button. But basically, the rest of the game, the interface seems too small. But we will talk about this later on. So the MMO is definitely the heart of this game, and if you don't like this style, you may get used to it, because the Crimson Desert have a lot of other upsides, and it's worth to try them, or you may just try something else. It's up to you. The fighting system, okay, so the combat seems to be interesting, but I would like to highlight a few things here. So first of all, I discovered that there are tons of skills related to combat, and my impression that it may be a mistake here, because they developed so much combos and variations of movements, and even related to just like one heavy attack, one simple attack. You may use those attacks with the different styles. Just in a sec I will show you. Hold on. Good, so here you can see the tree seems to be simple. Three main branches. So the first one, blue one, related to the melee attacks, the green one to some kind of magic, and the red one more or less to your special skills and the manufacture, as far as I understand. But inside those skills you can open each of those circles, and you can see that when you go deeper to each of those elements inside those branches, inside each of these circles we will have even more skills, more sub-skills, which you could develop separately, and each of them will have like unique movements in addition to what we have right now. So I feel a little bit overwhelmed by all of this, and I think that it is too much for this kind of game. It feels more like a fighting with a lot of combos than a regular RPG. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe the combat system could prove itself later on in the game, but so far it's feeling really complicated. But I will see. I will share my later impression for sure, as far as I will beat at least like the half of the game or so. Great, so regarding the deaths and the difficulties, so far I don't see any difficulty selection, and that's not the best for me personally, because I would like to have a few options. I would like to fill the game with a modest pace, and I would like to try it with hardcore elements. But okay, let it be the only one option. Okay, that's could be. But although the death not seems to be the really threat here, I played through the enemies at the first stages and I don't see any really threats. Maybe that because I'm like this kind of player who get used to the challenges. Maybe because I just finished Wolfenstein Mein Leben. But honestly, I would like to have more tough moments, and I keen to see them later on in the game. We'll see. We have a really complicated and really promising combat system. It should be worth to try with the bosses, which was highlighted during the promotion campaign, so I keen to see those bosses and to fight their asses. The lore, the feelings, how this game feels right now. I have doubts here, because when we started as this main Caliph person character and we were beaten by our enemies and we were resurrected by the gods, that's not some kind of surprise for you guys. It will be at the very beginning of the game, so I don't think that we have spoilers here. Anyway, so as far as we will be back here on the Earth, or what kind of land it is, I don't know. So it does not feel like I'm emotionally linked and tied to this world. I know these characters may be good people, at least they should be in the script, but I don't feel anything about them. They died so quickly, the events were happening so quickly, that just not feels right. And honestly, when they try to explain you the story, there is no story for now. You just like the superhero seems to be. There are gods, there are enemies, and that's it. So you should deal with those enemies, because you are the one. It seems for me like that, without any explanation or background, without any backstory, and that's not what I would like to see here. That's kind of RPG game, and I would like to see more lore, more story, more deep relations, ties, some scenes. Maybe there are some, but I cannot see there from the outset, and that's what troubles me right now. I don't see this deep, even like on the surface, the story we are seeing, not so colorful actually. The gods, they just say you, hey guy, you might do that, here you go the special ability, here you go the weapon, here you have it, and use it against the enemies, and that's it. Yeah, that's like controversial, that's my personal opinion, but it's up to you to decide, I believe. This game reminds me about the London Hellgate, the one game which is really old one. I played it like more than 10 years ago, maybe like 15 years ago, when it was released. By this game, the Crimson Desert reminds me about this one, because you see the characters like standing out there, and they are trying to tell you a little bit about their stories, but actually no stories at all. The lore is totally absent, almost lack in this game. You have some kind of battle system. The battle system is totally different from the Crimson Desert, that's for sure. But the atmosphere, something like MMORPG with those marks, question marks, exclamation marks, with those NPC, and the lack of story, and like these kind of feelings, I'm not sure about them. I'm still confused. I'm comparing with the Hellgate's London, but I know that that's a bad example, but that's how I'm feeling right now. I would like to see what I will see later on, how this game will show itself, how the Crimson Desert will be deflected, reflected, depicted later on within the 12-30 hours of gameplay. Good, so the conclusion at this moment is controversial, and I cannot say honestly what I will do next, because I will try this game and I will try to beat it, but there are moments when you feel that something going wrong in the not correct direction, that something could be better, you know. And the story, the lore, okay, the combat system could be disappointed at some degree. I don't want to be to face overcomplicated stuff within the RPG elements. I don't need that. So we will see how it's going on. I'm still wondering what will be the quest segments, what will be with these flavors of quest, because I just beat the one quest only with the cat on the roof, and I was teleported by the game back to the quest giver, and that was like awkward moment. And I already saw a lot of like buggy moments here. I know that game is just released, and we will have the patch of first days definitely with the hot fixes, but still I'm not sure whether I have the conclusion here. I would like to have it after first 30-40 hours of gameplay. I would like to say you that this is good game and you should try it, but I cannot say that either, because the game seems to be pretty strange, and it is feeling contradictory. It is feeling like something in the middle between like MMORPGs, between those RPGs we know from the best of its kind, like Witcher, right? It is Assassin's Creed. It is something in the middle between fighting. It is something in the middle between like everything else. So I'm not sure, and I do not want to confuse you by my review, but that's it. So with this, I hope we will see each other on the next one, and yeah, have a nice time. See you.